Richard, welcome back to another episode. I kind of want to review that last week was the first time that we did the top 30 wide receivers. And by the looks of it, we got 16 out of 30 wide receivers. Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, 16 of 30 actually wasn't too bad considering the guys that made the top 30. Like the number one receiver in standard leagues last week was Justin Jefferson. The number 3 receiver was Ced Wilson of the Cowboys. The number 4 receiver, Alan Lazard of the Packers. So a lot of guys that no one expected, right? And then who else made the top 30? Michael Gallup, okay? Michael Gallup, Brandon Ayuk. These are the guys we missed on. Randall Cobb, Mecole Hardman, Hunter Renfrow, Tyler Boyd, Khalif Raymond, Andy Isabella, Cole Beasley, T. Higgins, Dontrell Inman, and Scotty Miller. So a lot of guys that most people didn't have in their 30. Justin Jefferson is going to be the most picked up free agent in fantasy this week. So it's a guy that's not even on a lot of rosters. So a lot of variability when it comes to receivers. But let's get to week 4.
So let's get started for the top 30 wide receivers for week 4.
A note here, Devontae Adams, Julio Jones, and Michael Thomas are not on this list. But if they play, they're automatically top 30 receivers. They're automatically top 10 receivers if they play.
Absolutely.
But we don't know that yet. So as of now, they're off the list. Number 1, DeAndre Hopkins, who will be at Carolina. DeAndre Hopkins has 37 targets year to date, and he's got 32 receptions. So he's doing what he was doing in Houston. He's amazing. And number 2, we have Tyler Lockett, who will be at Miami. And then at number 3, we have DK Metcalf, who will be at Miami. Love the Seattle receivers because I love Russell Wilson. I love what's going on in Seattle as far as fantasy goes. I love what's going on this year. Ryan, is Seattle, is that offense better than Kansas City's offense?
You know, that's a tough one to call. Anybody who's going to pick anybody other than Kansas City, you have to have something to kind of base it on. Russell Wilson's playing lights out. DK Metcalf is getting in the end zone. He's doing really well. 925 passing yards compared to Kansas City's 898 yards. 15 TDs for Seattle, 11 TDs for Kansas City. I just think, it really depends on, who you're picking. I think you can't go wrong with either one. We're going to have to see a few more games kind of play out. You can pick either one at this moment.
When it comes to complete team, I think Kansas City has an edge. But when it comes to just the offense, man, Seattle right now, they are clicking on all cylinders. But so is Kansas City. But you can make the argument now for Seattle, which is crazy to think, right? All right, number 4, Calvin Ridley at Green Bay. He continues to just, receive for 100 yards every game. Number 5, Tyreek Hill, who's home against New England. And Tyreek Hill, he has that blazing speed, and he has Pat Mahomes. So you always have to put him in your top 10.
I think the problem with Tyreek Hill is you got Patrick Mahomes, who's spreading the ball to all sorts of different targets. I think their fullback received a touchdown in the last game. So, that's where an awesome quarterback is actually hurting the receiver. And I think that's what's going on with Tyreek Hill.
I agree, but Tyreek Hill is still his number 1 receiver, and he's been catching at least 1 touchdown pass every week. And number 6, we have Amari Cooper, who will be home against Cleveland. That Dallas offense, I love it too. They lead the league in passing yards. Dak Prescott does. So I like Amari Cooper at number 6. I think we'll talk about it later, but I think there's going to be a lot of Dallas receivers in the top 30. And number 7, we have Allen Robinson, who'll be home against Indianapolis. Allen Robinson had 13 targets last week, right? Here's a guy that's a big physical receiver, can do it all. He just had Mitch Trubisky passing him the ball. Now you got Nick Foles. Could be an upgrade. We'll see. If it's an upgrade, Allen Robinson is going to be a perennial top 10 guy this season. Number 8, Kenny Golladay, home against New Orleans. He's not 100% yet, but he played. If his health continues to improve, he's a tremendous talent. He's got a decent quarterback in Stafford. I think Golladay is going to have some very good fantasy games in the near future. Number 9, Stefon Diggs, who will be at Las Vegas. We saw what he did week 2 against the Dolphins. This week, he just caught a touchdown. Didn't do that much damage, but he's a very talented, very aggressive receiver. So Ryan, Josh Allen, is this connection, is it going to continue to do well?
Yeah, this is the week that you're going to see Stefon Diggs put up some big numbers. 27th ranked defense, and Josh Allen is just gaining more and more confidence. I think he's going to have a stellar week, and Stefon Diggs is going to be the recipient of that awesome week from Josh Allen. And I know you're not big on Josh Allen, but when you're going to start recognizing that Josh Allen is going to help out his receivers?
He's winning me over. I was definitely on that, a great rusher, not great passer bandwagon. But this year he seems to, the passing seems to be very good. So he's definitely winning me over. Then we have at number 10, Mike Evans, home against the Chargers. He had a very strange stat line last week. 2 receptions, 2 yards, 2 touchdowns. But that's what Mike Evans does, right? He's a big receiver. He's going to get goal line targets. And this week he'll probably get a lot more than 2 yards home against the Chargers. So I like Mike Evans at number 10. At 11, we have Robert Woods, who's home against the Giants. Up against a bad team, on an explosive offense. I think there's going to be enough for both Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp. I got Robert Woods at 11. At number 12, Keenan Allen at Tampa Bay. Keenan Allen starting to warm up. The rookie Justin Herbert is looking good. Tough matchup, though. Tampa Bay's defense has been pretty good. That's why we have him at number 12. Number 13, aforementioned Cooper Kupp, who's home against the Giants. I think there's enough for both of them, and they're both going to be in the top 15 this week. I'm talking about Woods and Kupp. Terry McLaurin at number 14. He'll be home against Baltimore. Tough matchup, tough defense. And again, Haskins doesn't look like he's all that, but Terry McLaurin is it. He is the only player with fantasy value on that team. So he will get his share of passes. We have him at 14. And number 15, we have JuJu Smith-Schuster, who will be at Tennessee. Big Ben, you can always count on Big Ben, and JuJu is his number 1 target. Number 16, Adam Thielen, who will be at Houston. Now, I just wanted to stop here and talk a little bit about the issues now with the COVID issues, because we have JuJu at 15, Adam Thielen at 16. Tennessee had 3 players test positive for COVID. Right? So they're closing their facilities till Saturday. Pittsburgh is not. Pittsburgh is practicing. Minnesota, I'm not sure what Minnesota is doing, but they may be taking precautions as well. Houston is not. The issue is, are they going to play? Are they going to play on Sunday? And right now they're saying, yes, we're going to play Sunday, and if we can't, we're going to either play Monday or Tuesday. And obviously that'll have a huge impact on fantasy. But as of now, both Pittsburgh at Tennessee and Minnesota, Houston, they're saying they're going to be played Sunday at the regular time. Right now, that's what they're saying. And if not, they're going to try to just push it to Monday or even Tuesday. So as of today, there's really no risk of fantasy players missing time. So, but we will keep you updated. We'll definitely, if you follow Ryan on YouTube, we will put messages out when we hear something. At number 17, we have DJ Moore, who's home against Arizona. DJ Moore is the number 1 receiver in Carolina, even though Robby Anderson is also showing signs of life. And DJ Moore could be that explosive guy. Teddy Bridgewater, still a question mark, but he's been targeting DJ Moore a lot, so we're going to keep him at 17. At 18, Odell Beckham, who will be at Dallas. Odell Beckham, he even mentioned he might not have such a great year because, it's predominantly a run team and you have Baker Mayfield. But this is the time where they're probably going to have to score a lot of points to keep up with the Cowboys. So Beckham this might be his 100-yard game. And number 19, Alan Lazard, home against Atlanta. We can't ignore what he did last week. And again, Davante Adams might not play. If Davante Adams plays, you might push him down a little. But if he doesn't, Alan Lazard might be the number one in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. What do you say, Ryan?
When you have a good game and you have the chemistry between Rodgers and Lazard, the quarterback's going to go back to you. He's going to look for you. They found success last week. Whether Davante Adams plays or not, I think he's still going to be doing really well. And don't forget, they're going against Atlanta, not known for their passing defense, coming in at 31. I think he's just going to have another strong game because that chemistry is there.
And number 20, we're going with DeVante Parker, who will be home against Seattle. Again, we think this is going to be a little bit of a shootout. People laugh like, yeah, Miami, but yes, Seattle and Miami. Miami has put up 59 points the last 2 weeks. So I think, and Seattle's defense has had their issues. I think this is going to be a shootout. I'm not saying the Dolphins are going to beat the Seahawks. I just think there's going to be a lot of points scored. And I like DeVante Parker at 20. At 21, we have Tyler Boyd at Philadelphia. Tyler Boyd, Joe Burrow's favorite target. Right now, he got 13 targets last week. So, and he found success. So we got to put him in our top 30. At number 22, Michael Gallup, who's home against Cleveland. Again, Cowboys they lead the league in passing yards. They're passing a lot. Michael Gallup just had a good week. We're going to keep him in our top 30. Number 23, making his first appearance in the top 23, is Justin Jefferson, who will be at Houston. It's Kirk Cousins' new toy. First rounder, has the pedigree and he showed us why last game. So I think we're going to be seeing more of that. There's definitely momentum there. And number 24, Will Fuller, who'll be home against Minnesota. Will Fuller, there's a lot of deep threats on that team, right? Because you also have Brandon Cooks. Kenny Stills can get behind the defense. But I think Will Fuller might be their most complete receiver. So let's see how Deshaun Watson, how he targets him. He targeted him a lot in weeks 1 and 3. Week 2, it was nothing for him. Hopefully he finds consistency. Number 25, Julian Edelman in Kansas City. Edelman had a bad week last week, and that's mostly because they were winning by a lot and they were relying more on the run. Cam Newton didn't have such a great week, but I think this week they're going to have to pass to keep up with Pat Mahomes. So I think Edelman's going to have a decent week.
If you saw any Twitter action, you'll know that Patrick Mahomes' mom said, "Do not call him Pat."
Oh, I apologize. Patrick.
There you go.
Patrick Mahomes.
Okay,
Thank you for bringing that up.
Mahomes.
Okay. Number 26, we have Marquise Brown, who will be at Washington. Now, Marquise Brown, he had, had a bad week last week, and I don't know why they were behind. Lamar Jackson only passed for like 97 yards. I think he's going to have a better week this week. They have a good opponent, Washington. They're going to be angry. Like I've said before, I think they're going to put up a lot of points. And number 27, we have Robby Anderson, who will be home against Arizona. Is Bridgewater going to pass enough to have 2 receivers in the top 10, top 30? Well, Robby Anderson has 100 yards in every game so far through 3 weeks. So he's definitely getting the targets. Now it's a matter of scoring those touchdowns. And number 28, we have T.Y. Hilton, who will be at Chicago. T.Y. still, he's got the big playability. He's got Phillip Rivers. At some point, he's gonna break a long one. We thought it was last week. We're gonna guess it's gonna happen this week. And number 29, we have Preston Williams, another Dolphin receiver. Again, they're gonna have to pass a lot to keep up with the Seahawks. Preston Williams scored a touchdown last week. It wouldn't surprise me if he scored another this week. And at number 30, we have CeeDee Lamb for the Cowboys. Can this many receivers succeed in that offense? I mean, I have 3 of them in my top 30 this week. I'm talking about Cooper, Gallup, and CeeDee Lamb. Last week, you had an unknown receiver, right? In your top, he was actually the number 3 receiver, Ced Wilson. I'm not picking Ced Wilson in my top 30, but I'm going to pick 3 Cowboys. What do you think, Ryan?
Well, they're playing really good. I mean, Dak is leading the league with 1,188 yards. The only problem is they're not getting into the end zone too much. So, you know, I'm surprised that they're going to have 3 receivers. I don't see it. I think they're going to have to depend on Ezekiel Elliott at some point, which is going to slow down those receiving core of getting all those yards. So I think that's a pretty much gamble on your part. But I like the confidence. I like it. But most surprisingly, out of all the top 30 wide receivers you got 2 Dolphins in the top 30. So
yes,
bold move. Anything you want to add on that bold move?
No, I think the Dolphins, I mean, they've looked good the last 2 weeks offensively, right? Actually, they looked complete against Jacksonville, and against the Bills, I mean, they lost 31-28. So I think, you know, the Dolphins, their offense is clicking. It's can they stop Russell Wilson? And I don't think they can.
Well, they don't need to put up some big fantasy numbers, right?
Right.
All right. Well, thanks again for coming on here and sharing the top 30 wide receivers for week 4. We appreciate it. So thanks for coming on here and sharing.
No problem. My pleasure.
All right. Well, good luck in fantasy.
Good luck to you. Good luck to everyone.